Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? This is Kyle and Mike from the Fantasy Phenom. We are live in both the Facebook Fantasy Phenom movement page and YouTube today. Something I think we're going to keep doing from now on.
Yeah, it just makes a lot of sense. I mean, we can reach everyone on any platform if you feel more comfortable on one or the other.
Yeah, buddy. Let's see.
Gives you some options.
I want to make sure. I'm going to check the Facebook page, make sure everything's good to go. Where are we
I can
at?
hear the music in the background, by the way, Kyle.
I just turned it off. I remember that. Do you see me live in the Facebook page, Mike?
I'm looking right now. Hold on.
It says we're streaming there, so. What is up, guys? Sounds like Rick Ross. It was Rick Ross. I was listening to his new album. What's up? Yo, FanDuel released the baseball slate today. Side note. So we are good.
Yeah, dude.
Unfortunately, it's only for Monday, so I don't know what they're going to do about Sunday. But the Monday slate is out. I am currently working on projections for baseball. So I'm finalizing everything. I'll probably have them out in the next couple days now that I finally have the slate and prices.
Hold on.
Let's see. Hold on.
Yeah, so the only I have to say is that we have 9 games left in the NBA regular season. I think it's 9. Could be 10. Either way, depending on the team. And I just drafted a baseball league yesterday. Got some more coming up this week. What is it? Sunday night?
This is the first day of baseball, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been chopping it up in Slack all day about baseball. By the way, you guys got 2 more days to join. If you guys are interested in season-long leagues, I wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah. So, like I said, it's baseball league drafting time of the year. It's a beautiful time of the year. And if you want to be a part of that and be a part of that with a bunch of phenoms, just hit us up, let us know, and we'll get you in.
Just got news. Marc Gasol is doubtful today, by the way. So that'll affect some of the projections, which I will update shortly after the show.
Yeah, I kind of had him leaning doubtful as well as Cousins. I know Cousins is still listed as questionable, but I kind of feel like he's doubtful as well. We'll see, though. But, yeah, so this is an ugly slate, man. I was looking at it. I think there's question marks that you could say on all of these matchups. Oh, man, the highest over-under right now in Vegas is the Cleveland-San Antonio game at 212.
Yuck.
So I think there's question marks in all these games. I mean, it could be one of those slates where if you're super sharp and have been following these rotations and what's been going on with resting and the lineups, maybe you come out well, because those that are just going in there plugging in studs and household names probably isn't going to do well today.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so far I have locks of Tobias Harris, Terrence Ross going back to Toronto. Tony Allen is also questionable now. Nice. Yeah, man. Nice.
They're on the second half of a back-to-back.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then I have DeMar DeRozan as a lock.
Yeah, I feel you there. I like that game as well, the Orlando-Toronto game to look at. And like I said, I generally wouldn't say that on a normal slate, but today is not a normal day. So like I mentioned, Memphis is on a back-to-back. So is Sacramento, which is their opponent, and both of those teams play at 10:30, which is 3.5 hours after lock.
Someone's gonna rest for the Kings, by the way.
So that's a pretty sketchy proposition, I think. OKC also on a back-to-back, coming off that 250-point total game against Houston yesterday. I mean, Westbrook is an Energizer bunny, but still,
He is against
that was
Dallas
a heck of a
again,
game
too,
yesterday.
dude, man. Dallas is really good as a team defensively.
And then Detroit is on the front end of a back-to-back playing New York.
with all the question marks in New York and who's even going to play
What
for
are
New
they
York.
going
Yeah.
Right. So it's just a really not a slate. And if you look towards tomorrow's a really nice slate. So if you're in the process of trying to build up a bankroll for baseball and have been playing lighter, I would target tomorrow over today. At least that's what I'm going to be doing. But still, again, like you can flex some sharpness though if you've been playing this every day on a slate like this.
Well, let's
Well,
jump into point guards, man. I guess. Hold on one second.
what else can we do? Point guards, it is. I mean, want to just start off talking about Russell Westbrook and why or why not today? I know sometimes on short slates that's pretty much the biggest question of the day, right? So
Oh wait, hold on. Before we do that, I do want to shout out a couple people. So
shout them out. Let's do it.
Collins represented the Phenoms in Miami yesterday. Huge shout out to him. Came home with $7,000. So
Wow.
finished I believe 54th in that tournament. So congrats, Collins. Represented the Phenoms well. We had Leandro, who is in the chat, take home second place in a GPP, and Josh C, not JC, took home his first GPP. So congrats to all of you guys. Also, Bill, it was his first day in Slack yesterday, and he tripled his buy-in and gave credit to Slack. So shout out to Bill.
Nice, Bill. Yeah, I just want to say, Collins, man, must have been a hell of an experience. I hope you took my advice and rented a coupe. Took it down to Collins. That's what I would have done. But then again, I'm not very good with my money. I also hope that you spent that $7,000 wisely. And by spent, I mean probably not spent. But if you did spend it, we want to know what you did spend it on. Yeah, I think that's all I got.
There you go, man. So
congrats to those guys.
Good day again for the Phenoms. Oh, all right. Kyrie is still 7,900 on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
I think if there's two positions to target the Spurs at, it's the front guards. I think it's point guard and shooting guard.
The front guards. The
the guards.
No, no, I got you. Yeah, I think this game is on TV, right?
It should be national televised, I believe so.
Yeah, TNT, 8:00 game. Kawhi against LeBron. Kyrie, yep, going against Tony Parker. I think that's a good spot for him, and he's been pretty consistent, you know. I like that he's under 8K still. I know 37.5 wasn't the greatest that he could have done in that last game against Washington, but still, I mean, you get 37.5 out of Kyrie today on this crappy slate. I think you'd be all right at that price. But yeah, I just want to get this Westbrook thing out of the way. So, again, 12-5 on DraftKings. He's matchup proof. He's going up against Dallas. In the two games against Dallas this year, he's averaging 57 DraftKings points, 37 real life points. He's on the second half of a back-to-back. Yesterday they played in Houston, I believe. Yeah, in Houston. So this is a road back-to-back. Although it's just a short, real bus ride to Dallas, but I don't know. Being that there's question marks with all the studs, I think he's still in play.
Yeah, true.
I mean, LeBron's against Kawhi, Anthony Davis against Utah.
See, I think my favorite stud is actually DeRozan and Kawhi, and both are sub 10K.
Right. But I mean, so that's what you'd either have to pay for both Kawhi and DeRozan or just Westbrook. So that's what you're getting at. You'd rather pay for both Kawhi and DeRozan than Westbrook.
Yeah, that's what I did in a prelim line.
Okay, I could get behind that as well. But again, it's tough to fade Westbrook if you're playing multiple lines. I think you have to have him at least in one, and if you like the line, maybe try to get two. That's kind of where I'm going to be at today.
That's fair. I actually really like this Detroit-New York game for targeting my point guards. I think I can get behind a Derrick Rose and an Ish Smith stack.
Yeah, I played Ish Smith the other day. and he was really chalky, and I don't think he did that well. So perhaps people got burned from him.
Mm-hmm. But he's still
Um,
4,500.
yeah, I know. It's he's 5K on DraftKings. I still tend to think the minutes with him are still inconsistent. Now that he's starting, I mean, I get it. You know, the potential is there, but I just want $800 more. Pay for Derrick Rose again. If he's playing, they're going to play in big minutes. They don't really.
They don't care.
They're not really in shutdown mode with Derrick Rose. I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say I
I
like
think it's
Derrick
an
Rose a
easy
lot.
spot.
I think you can make the argument to pay down at point guard tonight. So I worry about Mike Conley and how much he'll play against Sacramento back to back. Right? I'm pretty sure Memphis is pretty locked into their playoff spot. I don't think they are going to change too much. They are currently sitting at 7. They're 5 games ahead of the Trailblazers for 8th. The best they could do is they're 4 games out of 4th place, which would mean home court advantage. I don't see them really changing too much. I don't think they're in a position to fall out, and I don't think they have a realistic shot of getting up all the way up to 4. So, what, did I miss a comment?
Oh man. No. I just got a strange text message. No worries. So my thing with Mike Conley is that they sat Gasol yesterday, and we saw 6 guys play 30 minutes on Memphis. So they aren't very deep. They are pretty old. So I think his minutes are going to be somewhat safe without Gasol, and especially if there's no Tony Allen, that means that Andrew Harrison's going to play some shooting guard. And I don't know, they just don't strike me as a very deep team. I know against Sacramento, I mean, should be a pretty easy win, but
and again, Sac just beat LA, so
yeah, I don't know. I think Conley's minutes will be safe today, 30 to 35 minutes. I think you can just lock him into that. So even in a blowout.
okay. I mean, he's the best matchup of any point guard on the slate, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
then you got Drew Holiday and George Hill. In this matchup, oh man, you could make the argument to stack both these guys as well, especially if Boogie's out.
Yeah, especially if Boogie's out. I think when Boogie's out, you see a lot of Tim Frazier minutes too, and they slide Drew over to the shooting guard spot, which I do like. But I like George Hill, man, especially if there's no Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward's listed as questionable right now, I believe.
Derek Favors is already out again.
Yep, Derek Favors is already out. Yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like without Gordon Hayward,
Yeah.
George Hill becomes more of a offensive weapon because, I mean, Rudy Gobert, I mean, his offensive game is limited to, the post up. So as far as off the ball, catch and shoot, distributor, I think he'll become the guy at a sub 6K price. I think I like that. There's no Hayward. So
we talked about Westbrook.
mm-hmm.
If you're gonna target someone on the Dallas side at point guard, who do you like more, Yogi Ferrell or JJ Barea?
I don't know, man.
Or do you fade the situation?
It seems like Seth Curry has become the point guard.
Yep.
And these guys are like splitting backup minutes between point guard and shooting guard right now. So between JJ and Yogi, sounds like a cartoon. I think I just fade those two guys as far as value. I'm going to try and target minutes for value today or just stay in the mid-range. I don't know. There's not much at point guard value, man. I think, like I mentioned, Tim Frazier been getting big minutes without Boogie. I think at 3,400, he's a pretty good point guard value play today. Again, it's against Utah, so it's not awesome, but the fact that he's playing minutes at a cheap salary, I think that's what I'm going to be looking for today on this slate.
And then lastly, you got Elf Payton against Toronto or Corey Joseph against Orlando. I don't know if I like either. I don't think I like Elf with Vooch back. I actually think I like Vooch more in this game than Elf.
Yeah, it's hard to envision enough possessions for Elfrid Payton to get to like a triple-double type game, which is what he does to get his upside. Mm-hmm. And then Corey Joseph, man, his upside is so TJ McConnell-ish. It's only funny to people that play DFS, but I guess if you're watching this, you're not playing DFS. That would be strange. Oh man. So yeah, I don't think I'm playing. I think I like Derrick Rose in the mid range. I like
George Hill.
Tim Frazier for cheap. I like George Hill as well. So would you go Derrick Rose or George Hill? That's a nice little
that's actually who
spot.
I have as my point guards. Is both of them.
Cool. I get behind that. And then you got Westbrook. So I think I might stay away from Irving and Conley today, but I like them both as well.
Yeah, I can see. I like Irving over LeBron today, especially on DraftKings for the price difference.
Yeah, I think so too against Kawhi.
Danny Green, I think, is in play tonight against the Spurs. Definitely like targeting their shooting guard position. Danny Green's in play. On the reverse, J.R. Smith is super punty as well. I don't think I punt him on DraftKings. More so FanDuel, where he's minimum salary.
Danny Green, man, that's a bold one. Again, I guess I see what you're saying. Like I just kind of said, I'm targeting minutes for my value, and J.R. Smith and Danny Green fit that mold because they play big minutes, especially if Korver and Shumpert are both out. I think Shumpert's listed as questionable today, and with both those guys out,
that's what I'm saying.
J.R. Smith's going to be playing big minutes, but I mean he's played big minutes in the last 2 games and given you nothing, and Danny Green's been playing big minutes all year and giving you nothing. So it's like maybe
that's why I say punt worthy, man, punt worthy.
Maybe I think I might go Joe Ingles if Hayward is out.
Yeah.
Again.
That's true. I don't think I look at Courtney Lee against Detroit. And KCP on FanDuel is down to 4,400. So I talked about Lou Williams yesterday. Lou Williams got down to 43 on FanDuel. And a couple people listened and they played him after. So I was like, Lou Williams is a pure, like, great GPP play. He was even worthy of a cash play because of how cheap he was at 4,300, and then he goes out and puts up 40 points. So KCP against New York, same exact spot. 4,400, pure GPP play, but you can make the case because he's so low salary to put him in cash.
Yeah, and his name is Kentavious. I mean, that's pretty sweet. But 4,400, man, that is nuts. They're daring you to play him. He's still a tournament play. I don't know that I play him in cash, man. He has a game where he scored 6 points in his last 10 in 27 minutes. He also has a game where he scored 41 points. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 under 15. Very low floor, very high ceiling. The story remains the same with Caldwell Pope. It's just that you're going to get him super cheap today. Even on DraftKings at 5,200, it's cheap. This is kind of one of those slates where I'm looking to really go high ceiling with my lineup, so he'll probably make it into at least one.
I don't have any confirmed news on this, by the way, but I do know the Kings have said Tyreke Evans, unless that has changed, will rest on back-to-backs. Whether it be the front or back end, I don't know, and like I said, if they're still holding true to that, but he played yesterday, and today's a back-to-back, so I would infer he's going to sit out today. If that's still true, like I said, no confirmed news, but the Kings are literally resting somebody every game. Last night it was Kosta Koufis and Ty Lawson. Don't be surprised if tonight it's Tyreke Evans and Darren Collison.
Yeah. But on that note, whatever you think is going to happen, do the opposite.
True.
Because it's ridiculous what they're doing there. I mean, like Kyle said, that would make the most sense. Is Tyreke would be the guy that's resting. The only guy that seems safe from not resting is Buddy Hield and Darren Collison.
Darren Collison isn't, because he rested after Ty Lawson did. They switched off.
Really?
Yeah, last time.
No one is safe. Mr. Hield is their only buddy.
Yeah.
That was a terrible joke.
It's all right.
I'm sorry about that. Where are we at?
I like Buddy Hield. I think he's the only safe play. Well, it's not safe, but safe for minutes. Langston Galloway is punty. Ben McLemore is punty.
Interesting. I kind of like that. How's he been doing with all this rest? Is he getting a considerable run? I haven't really been on
Yeah,
Mr. Galloway.
he got a little run yesterday in the game. Didn't do much. Only
Huh.
put up 6 points, I believe, maybe 8. But
20 plus minutes in each of the last 4 games on this road trip. They're back at home. Yeah, I can see it. Minimum salary.
yeah. But then again, I make this case: if you have Rodney Hood at 3,700 on FanDuel, and Tim
Yeah,
Frazier's 3,700.
yeah.
If no
Doesn't make
Gordon,
much sense to go that cheap.
if Gordon Hayward is out, Rodney Hood I think is a lock. Do I say that?
I don't know. Can you go both Hood and Hill? I guess you can. If there's any slate you can, it's this one. But
Yeah, I
I don't
guess
know, man.
Gordon's.
I'm afraid just because it's been a while since Rodney Hood has played 30 minutes in a
Yeah,
game. I think they're kind of over pushing him, saving him for playoffs. I mean, that's where I would be with him.
I don't know. It's hard. I think you're safe with Tim Frazier minutes if Boogie's out again. Well, actually, Tim
Hmm.
Frazier's getting minutes regardless of if Boogie plays, but more so if he
Yeah,
doesn't.
he's become their point guard. Drew Holiday is now a shooting guard, which makes sense to me.
You got Jordan Crawford, who's still minimum salary on FanDuel. Definitely punt worthy. He doesn't need much to get you value. Mm,
Yep, he's another one throwing that boat. 3-point specialists.
Chris says Lee is a lock without Melo. What do you think of that?
He's a lock. I mean, he's $4,800 on DraftKings. He's going to play 35 plus minutes. So in tournaments, man, I would just pay for Caldwell Pope's upside. I guess in cash, if you want to lock Courtney Lee in because he's playing big minutes, you can. But he's playing Detroit. Caldwell Pope has been someone we avoid all season long. His price is probably higher than it should be.
Yeah,
So you're really just playing for the minutes
he's gonna get his minutes
and
though.
the cheap price. I think his ceiling is a tough one to bet on.
And then lastly, well, actually not lastly, you got this OKC Dallas game with Oladipo and Curry and Wes Matthews. I
Hmm.
I I like Curry today, especially if he's playing point guard.
Yeah, I don't even think Curry's a shooting guard on DraftKings anymore. I'm looking
Nope,
for him. I can't find
he's
him.
all point guard now.
Scary. I'm not on Seth Curry.
Kevin says Lee has the ceiling of a tiny house.
That's my kind of joke, Kevin. I like that. The ceiling of a tiny house.
I like Seth. Oladipo's in play. I don't think for 6K. I don't think I like him as much. And then Wes Matthews still 4,500 on FanDuel. Man, I think that's good value.
51 on DraftKings. Another guy that I don't know how much I trust his ceiling. At least we haven't seen it in a while.
And then, like I
I
said,
like to look at shooting. I like to look at shooting with Wes Matthews. He is in a bit of a shooting slump. He was 0 for 7 from 3 against Toronto. 1 for 8 from the field against the Clippers. So he's shooting the ball. He's getting close to value. So maybe if they start going in today, he's your guy,
and then DeMar DeRozan, like I said, 8,600 on DraftKings, 92 on FanDuel. I think both those are fair prices, and I like it.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to be the
Chalky.
highest owned player 8K and above today.
You think more so than LeBron?
I think so. I think people understand Kawhi is not someone that you mess with,
Yeah, I don't know.
I know he's matchup proof, right? But
Yeah,
you're paying up for ceiling. I mean, I feel like projections aside, just not even thinking about like what happens on the court. If you look at projections aside, I think the ceiling projections for both LeBron, Kawhi, DeRozan are all going to be close to each other.
I'll pull those up. We'll pull them up after we're done. I'll do another optimal.
I mean,
lineup
I'm
for you
I'm
guys.
just speculating.
No, for sure.
But
FanDuel has the 10:30 games in the Express slate. Do they really? That's interesting. So okay, LeBron and Kawhi. Who is a better point per price value?
I say Kawhi.
I agree with you.
I do. I mean, I believe Kawhi had a huge game against them the last time they played, but if I'm not mistaken, somebody was out in that game. I think that was an overtime game, so I don't think you can really look at that.
I like Kawhi. The fact that he's 9-1 on FanDuel, he's cheaper than DeRozan. I know that he's been struggling as of late. He did hit value last game for what it's worth. But I just think, I don't know, I just feel like this is a Kawhi and LMA game. I think they both have really good games. I think you can play both of them.
Yeah, I mean, we've targeted Cleveland. They're not a great defending team. Playing San Antonio on the road. Yeah, I think that's an easy way to go today. I'm fading the Cavs.
Also, for what it's worth, Celtics are now tied with the
Uh-oh.
Cavaliers.
Coming for the top spot.
Yep. They're in a virtual first place tie. So the Celtics have played 2 more games than the Cavs for what it's worth as well. But still, they're in a tie.
Yo, Kyle, I gotta step away for just a minute.
You're good. I'll continue.
Sorry.
So yeah, I like Kawhi more than LeBron today. Where are the Spurs are only 2.5 back of the Warriors as well. So they're still playing for that number 1 seed. What do you do about Melo? Melo is 65 on DraftKings and 7K on FanDuel. I mean, the prices are enticing, right? But is he going to play one? And if he does play, how many minutes is he going to play, I should say? So, pure GPP play. Definitely don't play him in cash. But 6,500 on DraftKings, that price is enticing. I think you can look at Marcus Morris as well. I personally don't go there. Vince Carter, if Tony Allen and Marc Gasol are out, Vince Carter should get some run. I like him. James Ennis is punt worthy. He played big minutes yesterday. Obviously, no Chandler Parsons. Don't mention Melo. Don't waste these people's time. We're bringing back George's phrase. Let's not waste these people's time. Everybody loves Melo. I love it. Mike mentioned Joe Ingles. So Joe Ingles, if Gordon Hayward is out, definitely. Joe Johnson even at 3,800. If Boogie's out, Dante Cunningham will get the start again. Minimum salary on both sites. Harrison Barnes.
Gotta love.
Oh, what's up, dude?
Sorry, I'm here. Sorry, that was just a phone call from the web developer.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, yeah, I never like putting the headphones back on hearing Dante Cunningham's name, but
he exceeded value yesterday. I played him.
Oh man.
If Boogie's out, he starts.
Oh yeah, I know. He started most of the season. No one really realizes that, but.
So Joe Johnson or Joe Ingles if Gordon Hayward's out?
I always kind of lean to Ingles over Johnson, just because I feel like he takes more shots. And on the offensive end, he's more involved. He's probably not the better player, but I think he's a better fantasy player.
Fair enough. I think Harrison Barnes is a fade for me, although 5,600 on FanDuel is a pretty cheap price for his upside.
Are we on power forward?
Small forward, Harrison Barnes.
Oh. Well, he's both on DraftKings, so I asked.
Oh, okay. Andre Roberson as well.
Could be a Roberson day. I mean, again, like I said, minutes is where I'm targeting my value. He's definitely going to be in that pool. We'll see what happens.
So I mentioned
Kuzminskis, if Carmelo does not play again, he is getting minutes, so he's also going to be in play.
I mentioned Terrence Ross being my lock today. That was the first lock. I didn't even have to look. I didn't care about price. The fact that he's 4,200. So Terrence Ross, he's not mad at Toronto at all. He loved playing for them. And he actually has mentioned how this is going to be a very emotional game for him coming back to Toronto all this and that. I don't see any reason why he doesn't ball out. I love. I'm a big fan of this narrative. I don't buy the Surge narrative. He only played half a season with Orlando, but Terrence Ross all the way.
Yeah, there's something to be said about him. That was his home for a long time, and kind of built up his stock there, and he probably will be very comfortable going there. Like you said, he's going to be emotional. He's bringing in a pretty hot shooting stretch going into this game.
And Jeff Green is out.
Yeah, the minute should be there.
He gets
Also,
a lot of shots.
Damari Carroll, I think, is questionable to play. I think if he is out, that helps Terrence Ross's cause. I'm not saying that Damari Carroll, this is a lockdown defender by any means, but actually, they might bring in P.J. Tucker to play small forward, so that might be something to consider.
Yeah.
Just kind of depends what they do.
Yeah, someone actually just brought that up. How does T. Ross do if P.J. starts?
Yeah.
I still think you got to play him for his upside. He needs 20 points to hit value. It's doable. And then
Right.
And then he can get 30. He can go 6x. He can go.
And I mean, to me, it seems like it'd be a better matchup to have PJ on Gordon, and then they slide Ibaka to the 5 like they like to do and limit JV's minutes, and then they'll bring one of their wings off the bench. I think you could see some rotations like that today. So I don't think PJ Tucker would be on Terrence Ross the entire game. Probably, half his minutes.
Yeah.
So PJ Tucker, if he starts, 4,400. You going there?
No.
I joke on the lock show. Over under 5 field goal attempts for PJ Tucker in 30 minutes.
I personally won't go there, but I can see the reasoning.
Yeah, no, never.
Kevin Love or LaMarcus Aldridge?
Off the top, I say LMA, but I don't know. They've been creeping. These minutes have been creeping for sure. And we saw Washington was a potential playoff matchup. He played big minutes. This is another one. So
yeah, I'm going LaMarcus Aldridge. Like I said, I can do a LaMarcus.
I'm gonna wait. I'm taking the wait and see approach with Kevin Love.
Yeah, his minutes just aren't.
And again, I'm fading Cleveland. Really, I think this is just a better matchup for San Antonio against Cleveland. It comes from not like in real life, but like in a fantasy perspective, it is.
Yeah, it's crazy to say that we're going to take a slow-paced team like San Antonio and stack them versus Cleveland and not take any.
It's a testament what this slate is, though.
That's true. Like I said, I mentioned earlier as well, Tobias Harris is a lock for me. So Tobias is from New York. He's playing in New York. New York sucks for his power forward. Tobias is starting. Is there anything else I missed that should factor into that?
Melo's going to play. I just found that out. I guess it's been known, but...
Okay.
So Porzingis at the 4, Porzingis at the 5. Will we ever find out? Probably not.
I don't think it matters. Tobias Harris, regardless.
Lance Thomas is out. No, I don't think it matters either, but it's worth noting. What do you think the starting 5 is going to be in New York?
Do they start Guillermo or do they start Kristaps? I will say if Kristaps starts at the 5, I like him against Drummond.
See, but if they start Kristaps at the 5, they're going to have to play Melo at the 4 because there's no Lance Thomas.
Yep.
And if they do that, they'll probably have to start Kuzminskis at the 3. I imagine it'd make more sense to just start Hernan Gomez at center so they don't have to start Kuzminskis. But, again, making sense. Jeff Hornacek, not a thing.
And like I said, man, Harris, regardless of whether Harris is against Kristaps or Melo, it's a good matchup.
It is. It's tough, though, with Detroit to get these minutes down.
Yeah.
I think it'll be there for him though. I agree. I like Harris today.
So Willie Cauley-Stein against Memphis, I think, is a good look. If I'm picking between Zach Randolph and JaMychal Green today, so Zach Randolph will probably start again, right?
Gonna have to
if Gasol's out. I think I like JaMychal Green more.
Yeah, it's second half of back-to-back. It's like Randolph is getting up there in age.
I just don't think they run him too hard
James
tonight.
Ennis.
Yeah,
James Ennis got 30 minutes last game because he's kind of the guy that really got the uptick in minutes, you know?
I mentioned him while you were gone. Yeah, James Ennis is a punt play tonight. 30. He's minimum salary on both sides too.
Right, but he started this season as their starting small forward, playing big minutes, and wasn't not fantasy relevant. I know a lot of people drafted him in season long and thought he was going to be the guy before Parsons got back, and he just wasn't really a fantasy relevant player. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that's where I'm going with my values, big minutes. So he's in play.
I just think JaMychal Green. I think he's my favorite player on Memphis today.
Yeah, I don't really feel like paying up for Memphis against Sacramento. Again, this is the late game. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, but JaMychal Green is safe.
I
He's
don't,
gonna play.
I don't. Yeah, I don't mind playing JaMychal Green or Conley or Randolph. I think those guys are all in play.
I worry about Randolph though, only because of his age, and they do have Brandon Wright back.
Yeah, they do.
And they have Deontay Davis or Jarrell Martin, whichever one of the two is there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But he's really cheap, man.
Who?
5K on DraftKings.
Oh, Randolph. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but here's the thing. Zach Randolph had 25 points at halftime yesterday and finished with 28.
Oh yeah, I've never been high on playing him. I'm just saying that it's a plus matchup. If it wasn't a back-to-back, we would be all over this price.
I agree. I just think because it's a back-to-back, because of the rest factor, I like JaMychal more. And then you can even look at Brandon Wright. With that said, I like Scal as well. Scal was super foul trouble yesterday, man.
See, I don't think I'm going to go on Scal against Memphis. I don't think this is a good matchup for him, dude. He just doesn't have the NBA body yet. This is a Memphis team that sticks to the backcourt, and this is a guy that thrives in getting in full stride. You know, I just don't see this as a good matchup for him.
Anthony Davis against Utah. Do you go back there? If Boogie's out, I think you have to look there, right?
Yeah, but against Utah,
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, he's matchup proof, I guess.
It's not ideal.
He'll have. I kind of feel like with Boogie with Boogie, it's probably a better spot for Davis. To be honest with you, because Davis won't have to deal with Gobert at all.
I agree. He would be the power forward.
Yeah, that would be an awesome spot, but either way, I mean, 10-2, price hasn't moved. He's been putting up points, man. I think he's been playing any given slate, especially on this one, which is a really rough slate. So I don't mind Davis today. I think his ownership will be low just because he's playing Utah, and I don't necessarily think that's really the only thing that should keep his price low, you know? Or keep the ownership low, I should say.
Yeah. Dirk against OKC. I like Enes Kanter. I think I like Dirk over Kanter today for the same price on FanDuel.
Interesting. Dirk over Kanter. Well, it's tough. I think the fact that Dirk is power forward and Kanter's a center. I don't know that I can make that comparison on DraftKings.
Yeah.
Dirk and Tobias Harris would be the comparison to make on DraftKings. So
I would play Tobias.
Yeah, I think I would too. But they have similar profiles, man. They have similar profiles, whereas if it's blowouts, you know, they both have depth at this position, both these teams, so that both these guys see limited minutes pretty easily. The matchups, I guess you could say the matchups are pretty good for both as far as DVP is concerned.
The other one I look at is Taj. He's still 4,100, man. He's going to go up against Dirk, so...
But Taj, he hasn't played 20 minutes in, like,
I agree.
5 games.
Upside is limited, but the matchup is there against Dirk.
He has to do it all in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Because he plays, like, 8 minutes in the first quarter and barely plays the second half. So I'm not going to play him just because, again, I'm targeting big minutes on this slate. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring slate at all. And so for that reason, I think you can just target cash type of value plays instead of these upside guys. potential upside guys.
I mentioned Surge. He's in a good matchup, but I wouldn't play him for narrative. Like I said, I just don't think there's any bad blood between him and Orlando. It's not like he was really cemented in there. I don't play Aaron Gordon today. Patrick Patterson is a sneaky play though. Almost minimum salary on both sides. I like Pat Patterson today.
Yeah.
Pat Patterson.
Again, I'm sticking with the same thing I've continued to say. I'm just finding players that are playing big minutes that are cheap. That's where I'm going with my value.
It's fair.
I'm taking all the risk out of value today.
It's fair. Drummond against New York, obvious good matchup, and then Gasol's out, so I like Zach Randolph's matchup if he plays center. I like Brandon Wright as a punt play. Pau Gasol against Cleveland. I mean, he gets 25 minutes. That's pretty much his limit, so he's got to do it that. Dwayne Dedman is punt worthy. We mentioned Hernan Gomez, right? Do we play him? How many?
Dude, man, I think that Hernan Gomez O'Quinn call today is going to be a pretty big call. For some reason, I just feel like one of these two guys is going to go off. But I think another big call at center is just this whole mid-range. There's plenty of guys that you can roster in the mid-range at center today. At least on DraftKings, I think there's a lot of value. Drummond and Vooch built the same price. I think Drummond's going to get obvious ownership, so I like Vooch in tournaments.
I also like Vooch. That's where I'm going.
I think Porzingis' price is a little too high for me against Detroit. Cantor and Noel. It's another one that could be an interesting, or throwing Hernan Gomez there too in that mid range.
You know who's gonna go really low owned again? Gobert.
Gobert's price is up. He's in a good spot.
He's gonna go low owned. I'm telling you.
I like it because there's going to be a lot. This is not a good team, not a good shooting team. You know.
Going to be a lot of rebounds.
Exactly. The problem I have with Gobert is there's no one that can follow. They don't have anybody. If there's Favors on the court, I would like this, but they don't have anybody that can really follow Davis outside the paint. So he's going to have to. I don't like games where Gobert is forced off out of the paint.
Yeah, I don't know. I still like Gobert in this game. I think that Gobert could be the highest scoring center on the slate.
Oh yeah, definitely has potential. But then again, you could say that for any one of Drummond, Vooch, Gobert, Davis, and Cousins. I think you can. I think any one of those five could be the highest scoring player on the slate.
What about Noel versus OKC?
No, I don't think so. I think I'd rather play Hernan Gomez against Detroit. But yeah, Cauley Stein, Cantor, Noel, Hernan Gomez. I think I'm going to go Hernan Gomez, Cantor, Cauley Stein, Noel.
And then lastly, we mentioned Vooch. I love Vooch today. Jonas, I think I agree with you. I think he's probably forced off the court tonight.
Yeah, the matchup doesn't work for him today. Not today. Sorry, JV.
Yeah, so.
I'd get behind some Brandon Wright, too, minimum salary.
So I'm saying, man, I think he's, especially with Zach Randolph, man, I don't think he's gonna play heavy minutes today. I don't see.
If the game turns to somewhat of a blowout, he won't. But if it stays close, I bet you they keep him in.
You think so?
They've surprised me in the past. I mean,
I just don't think they have much to play for. They're pretty cemented in that 7 spot. They're not going to fall out of the top 8. And I don't see them getting up to 4, which is the only point that really does anything.
Yeah, I mean, but you can make the same case last game. I mean, they played Vince Carter huge minutes too. So I mean, I guess in that narrative, you have to think Vince Carter would sit early as well.
Yeah.
Just kind of depends on how you feel with this game script. I mean, obviously, we somewhat differ in our opinions, but you guys watch the games too, so everybody's got your own opinion about what teams will do given a situation in the game. And that, like I said, we said a couple of days ago, that more than ever factors into your rostering, your construction today, your roster construction.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Any love for Anthony Davis? Yes, I think you have to look at him, especially if Boogie's out. If Boogie's not out, Mike was mentioning he likes Anthony Davis more. I tend to agree with that. What do we think about Kuz? Does he get minutes? Well, Lance Thomas is out.
Depends if he gets to start.
Yeah. JV went 18-11 last game against Orlando. That was without Tucker, I believe, right?
And Ibaka.
Yeah.
So this is totally different, and they didn't have Terrence Ross either. So they played big. They had Ibaka and Aaron Gordon. So it's a totally different. Totally different game.
Is Willie Cauley-Stein a better play with Gasol in or out? I think he's a better play with him out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Gasol's a very good defender. Let me just make sure that what I just said about Orlando is correct, and that they haven't played since the trade. I don't think they have, but if they have, and he did get big minutes, I will make sure to let you guys know.
What do we think?
I appreciate whoever said that.
Yeah, what do we think of New York, of whom is playing? Well, Melo is playing, but minutes are a question. We're not entirely sure what's going to happen with their 4 and 5 spots. So are they going to start Kuz, move Melo to the 4, and put Porzingis at 5, or are they going to put Hernan Gomez at the 5?
Imagine they do Hernan Gomez at the 5. And that game was before the trade. So yeah, this is a totally different
situation.
Lineup, situation. I don't know. I hope that they start. I hope that they start Porzingis at the 5. I like him playing at the 5, but I just don't think that they will. It's just been such a roller coaster on the Knicks, man. As much as I want to play Hernan Gomez, I'm afraid to. But yeah, so all these studs, man, in question, right? So we talked about Westbrook going up against Dallas, road back-to-back, high possession game last game. Talked about LeBron playing Kawhi on the road. Talked about Kawhi playing LeBron. I mean, I think when you talk about averages, LeBron is not a plus matchup, right? By any means. So also you factor in the fact that Kawhi, he hasn't got to 50 in 5 games. He hasn't even got to 40 in 4 out of those 5 games. So definitely some question marks there. Boogie and Davis going up against Utah. All these guys have some question marks associated with them, making me think this is going to be a low-scoring slate altogether. And that's why I'm not really looking to find these 8 to 10x potential value guys.
It's fair. You're just going to play safe.
That makes sense.
You're just going to play safe.
Yeah.
Is Barea getting love?
Not anymore, just because they've changed up their lineup and they're starting Seth Curry at point guard and they're playing him. Let's see his minutes. Yep, they're playing him big minutes. So again, I'm going to stick to the thing with the minutes and the value on today's slate at least. Maybe tomorrow, Barea will get some love.
Tobias plays well versus Melo as well. Yeah, Tobias will play well against New York in general. He's from New York, loves going back there.
Mm-hmm.
So I like him. Like I said, he's probably my favorite play on the entire slate. I like Terrence Ross. I like
DeRozan.
DeRozan, yeah.
Yeah, I think you can target Toronto, Orlando, Detroit against New York. But then all these other spots are just somewhat intriguing to me. There's not anything that's really standing out as somewhere you can go to target. And even the places I just mentioned, the teams I just mentioned, aren't really teams to target either. So I'm going to do some more research as we go down to the final stretch here on the slate on where to target. Wait for this injury news to kind of let itself shake out, and then reevaluate, I think. So I'm sure I'll see you guys soon here at like 6:45 doing the lock show. But yeah, it's just one of those slates where it's going to be not an easy roster build,
I agree. Just to recap a couple things. So obviously baseball, the slate is out. So if you guys looking forward to that, I am finishing up projections and everything on that. Obviously, website is in the process. That was why Mike stepped away for a second. So we are diligently working to get that up and running. Like I said, took longer than it expected, but we're not gonna put out an inferior product for you guys. If you guys are interested, as always, in joining the community, the link is right below. So it's 7-day free trial, no risk. If you don't like it, you just cancel. One thing I will say, if you join, I think it's you really don't get the full experience without utilizing Slack. So every site has projections, right? I like to think that mine are well done, but I'm not going to sit here and say like that's the main reason to join, right? Because you can get projections anywhere, and get a kind of a basis of where to go. What you're really signing up for is the community and the overall help that comes with it, the deliberation, the constructive criticism, all that goes into it. So if you're not utilizing Slack, you're really not getting everything. And I notice more and more the people that are winning are the people that are in Slack every day. And I don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah, dude. So we're building this business to be a community. So if you're signing up with us, that's how we are going to continue to evolve. And if you're not signing up for us because you want to be a part of the community, you're not really signing up for us for the right reasons. So we have everything, right? But we're trying to refine and get better and be the best at having a community. So that's what we're working on as far as our goals moving forward. Just to address some of the questions in the chat. Someone asked about paying up. What does that mean? So DraftKings, when you start your roster construction, you have $50,000, and that's $62.50 to pay per player. I consider anything above that paying up. So I'm like, I don't want to pay up in that game. That means I don't want to pay for anybody over that price in that game. Does that make sense? Somebody asked about Melo or about Kuzmintsov if he gets decent minutes. In my opinion, with Melo playing, he's not going to get decent enough minutes to get to value. Like, he needed 35 minutes to get you 22 points the other day. So that's what I would say about that. The contests. So we have ended. The playoffs are starting for our NBA contests. If you have not received an invite and you've seen that you are in the top 8, it's posted on Facebook. I've emailed it to everyone. It's on Slack. Let me know as soon as possible so we can make sure you get that link. And congratulations to you guys as well. The NBA NHL cross sport winners was Cool Cag on FanDuel and Quad Father 7 on DraftKings. So congratulations, guys. Thanks for rocking with us.
Awesome. I think we covered everything. Like always, if you guys are baseball fans, get in the baseball chat on Slack because it is heating up. Someone asked, is Larry Sanders worth a play? Or has he played a minute yet? No. So he's played 4 minutes and has not recorded a point.
He'll be back in the D League soon, I bet.
Chris asks, how is the baseball show going to work with basketball still going on? So how we're going to break down baseball is on a series basis. So while basketball is still going, and this isn't going to be a strict thing, we might do more shows, but we'll guarantee that we'll do a show at least 2 or 3 times a week, depending on every new series. So typically, series end on Sunday and Wednesday and Thursday. So 3 4 game series. And so we'll probably have a show, Sunday night, Monday morning?
Yeah, Monday and Thursday are the 2 short slates for baseball, generally speaking. So we're trying to hit those 2 days, whether we do it the night before or that day, while basketball season is still going on. So when basketball season is over, then we'll make the full transition to baseball, right, Kyle?
Yeah. And so then, and maybe even while basketball is going, we have some ideas of how we're going to kind of break down baseball. Not all the shows are going to be live, just because of time constraints and what we're planning on doing with some editing. So, but the shows are going to be much more organized and shorter in a sense. There's no way we could do a show breaking down an entire slate every day, because you have not only more players but more games on a daily basis. So basketball, there's 5 positions to cover. Baseball, there's 7. Right? Outfield, I bracket into 1.
Yep, and also with baseball, I mean, it's baseball discussion, I guess, is not as entertaining to the average fan as basketball discussion, just for the simple fact that, what you're incorporating into your process is much more numbers based instead of, watching the game based. There's probably a better way to put that, but and we understand that, and so that's why we're going to make something that's a lot much easier to watch for those that are average fans, and try to dive in deeper for those who really do enjoy baseball discussion.
Yeah, so there'll be separate shows. There'll be ways that we're going to break it down, and we're going to have it to where your average, the guy that doesn't want to sit through a 2-hour show can just get the information from us really quick, and we're still going to have projections. We're still going to have plus minuses, player pools, all that stuff. So you'll still get all that. You'll still have Slack, of course. So,
and we'll still be winning money. So
that's right.
Stick with it.
Yeah, buddy. Well, all right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in again. As always, feel free to email us if you have any questions. If you haven't already, join that Facebook group right there. That way, Fantasy Phenom Movement. If you're interested in more, there you go. You got it right the first time. If you're interested in receiving the full thing, link is below for the sheets in the description. Like I mentioned, 7-day trial. After that, $10 a month. So, cheap, but you get everything. And yeah, we will talk to you guys in Slack. Appreciate it again. Have a wonderful day and good luck today.